Yo guys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Booty Boy Wrestling Fan Interview. Today I'm joined by my very special guest. He is one co-host of the Bob Culture Podcast. He has won the award Contribution to Pro Wrestling of 2020, the Bob Culture Podcast. Rob Williams, how are you doing today, sir?
Donovan, let me tell you this, man. It is an honor to be here. It's an honor to finally connect with you. And you are the only one to finally introduce me as the recipient of the 2020 Pro Wrestling Contribution Award winner, man. I appreciate you going the extra mile like you do for all your guests, dude. Thank you for having me. This is long overdue.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy getting new people on, especially other people, not just professional wrestlers, but people that contribute some type of way to pro wrestling and the independents, whether you're a podcaster, interviewer, same thing, commentator, announcer, referee, even anything, as long as it counts in the pro wrestling world, then you qualify.
Love it. I made the cut. I don't know who canceled on you, but I made the cut.
So how are you doing during COVID-19 pandemic, all the BS going on in the world? Safe, healthy, all that?
Been lucky to be healthy this whole time. Family's good. A couple friends got hit. Some like first responders friends, they're recovering. So that's good, man. It's been a whirlwind. 2020 was a whirlwind for me, just logistically, man. And long story short, dude, I got to, pick myself up, kind of reboot. For those watching the video, obviously you can see the Bob Cave here. Picked up a paintbrush, put all my memorabilia and belts and autographs, and we've got a lot of the indie stars over here. And when they get signed, we put them on this side with all the national talent. You guys can't see on the camera right now, but it's a super nerd lair. It's home. It's home with the goodest brother, the goodest co-host, the goodest roommate. We got to give him a shout, Mr. Chris Nunez. It's boss time. That's for you.
Now, where did the Bob Culture name come into the podcast? Is there a guy named Bob that you know? Like, how did that become a thing?
This guy. That's actually a really good question, because you think about it, and I'm very honest about this. Like, we are right now I would say 80% wrestling podcast, but the Bob Culture Podcast has always been a pop culture podcast. So what we did, and I give credit to the man who named the podcast, who came up with the idea. The Vac Attack is Back, Jack, the Human Wrestling Encyclopedia here on the BCP. My best friend since I was 4 years old, Mr. Michael Vacchiano, came up with the name the Bob Culture Podcast instead of Pop Culture. My moniker's kind of Bob Man, obviously Rob Williams in the wrestling world. So it worked. It made sense. Now, looking back, if I'm searching for a new wrestling podcast, I'm not going to find Bob Culture and be like, oh, that's a wrestling podcast, man. So it's one of those things, looking back, it wasn't like the smartest, but we didn't know it was going to be as much wrestling as it was. And that's because the wrestling world has been so good to us, man, from the interviews like about, from the opportunities that I've gotten recently, whether it be commentary, whether it be, doing the pre-show for the first name drop, man. I told you those name drops are coming, bro. The $1 Million Man signing we did the other night with 80s Wrestling Con, shout to them, shameless promo. It's just been so good, from the superstars wearing our shirts to the ring, man. It's just been, I'm so grateful for it. I'm so happy to see a kid like you, man, at the age of 16, reaching out even to me, but reaching out to these superstars, because I know they're appreciative of it. And you're very professional, man. I'm really proud of you, man. And like I said to you earlier, like, I wish I could have done this earlier, man. But the BCP, it's a thing. I wouldn't change a thing about it, man. And it's just growing. We're coming up on our 200th, some big announcements coming, some big charitable aspects, and enough shameless promo, man. I'm really proud. I'm really grateful.
Now, my next question, it's more of, I'm going to take a guess, because there's been at least 3 different interviews on your show from the same people.
Oh, wow.
The question is, who is your favorite guest that you had? But I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to take 2 people for a guess. Either the Vivacious Vicky.
Oh, good guess.
Or Casey Cantel. I think I said last name.
This is so, like, there's no way to answer this without me getting in trouble. But, man, I'm going to say nice things about everybody, okay? Oh, man, this is tough.
Oh, but you asked me who my favorite was. And
right. It's turnabout fair play. Yeah. No, you're not wrong, man. It's a great question. So starting out with Vicky, friend, just good person, always been supportive of me. She's gone to bat for me a few times and helped to get some of those aforementioned opportunities. She's the goddess champion. She lied, cheetah, and steals your heart. We love Vicky representing all of the Garden State. I appreciate her helping me on commentary, giving me advice, giving me feedback, using some of those phrases that we coined. Working hand in hand, we rolled up together to the convention the other day. It was good just to kind of pick her brain about wrestling and be closer with her as a friend, and that's great. So I love Vicky. The sky is the limit. So she's actually only been on the show in a full interview capacity once, but obviously been involved in a lot of ways. We've been working together, as you've seen. So that's a fair question. Casey Catal, man, something about her since the day I met her. There's just such a good energy about her, which is crazy because she's just like this badass. Am I allowed to excuse the language?
Yes. Yes.
Like,
that's all you want. Just don't go over the top with
it. Yeah. No, I apologize, man. I try to use good language, but you know what I'm saying, man. She's like tough. What a competitor, like an amazing wrestler, and just I had to be there when she won the Synergy Cruiserweight crown. Shameless plug for Synergy. They're great. Check them out if you haven't. But she's just killing it. And I'm just so proud of her as a friend. The first time I met her, there's just like this good energy about her. And like the second or third time I saw her, like we just connected and we were good friends and we had the same circle of friends. And she's just a good person. And on my birthday, she brought me like, we were doing a charity fundraiser event for Standalone Wrestling. It was called Val's Pals, and it was great. And it's certainly not about my birthday at all. We were raising money for this great cause, and I was just excited to be part of the show and, the part of the locker room meeting and part of everything. And she comes and she brings me like these birthday glasses, and it just meant the world. It's just like the little things. You know what I mean? So I have nothing but amazing things to say about Casey. She's just like a good human, passionate Mavericks fan, a loving wife. You're not a Mavericks guy?
No, I just love how you mentioned like all these sports.
Dude, I'm a sports guy. I mean, as you can see, the Brooklyn. I mean, the trade today. Don't get me going, bro. But I can't say enough amazing things about Casey Catal, just as a human and as a wrestler. The sky, and I know it's cliche, man. The sky's the limit. She's going to go very far, as we're seeing. And I was so glad to be there and see her win that cruiserweight crown. Like I said earlier, I would love to call one of her matches. So just a special place in my heart for her as well. And then to actually answer your question, man, I hate playing favorites, but if we're going like chronologically, Casey Navarro, man, we interviewed him over 2 years ago at an event called Boardwalk Beatdown. Man, I saw him early on the indies and it's like, this kid's a star. He's got the look, he's got the moves. I love the high flying moveset. I don't know about you, man. That's like my style, like the fast pace. And he just killed it. He had the whole just package about him. I don't know what it is, but this guy right here has it. And we did an early interview with him, and I think he was very appreciative of it. I know we were super appreciative of it, but I didn't know how much that meant to him. Like, I didn't know it was like the same. And we always supported him, man. And I'll tell you this, man, and I've tweeted this before. It's like, if you have these people on, continue to support them. Unless they're terrible humans, but like continue to support them, retweet their stuff, buy an 8x10, man. That's why we got all these 8x10s in here, man. It's just like, thank you for coming on, or buy a sticker, or, retweet everything, whatever you can do. But we kept doing that for Casey. The next time we had him on, he brought Diamante and Kiera Hogan on with him, who from AEW and Impact, respectfully. And that's good. The next time we had him on it was 2020, man. And not to go into detail, I had a rough 2020. And he reached out to me and it was just like, hey, man, like, I hope you and your family are good. And, I told him what I went through, and he's just very supportive, just like, again, as a human, just very supportive. So that kid will always have a special place in my heart as well. Sure enough, the next time he comes on, he brings Tasha Steelz from Impact on, number one contender for the Knockouts tag team title. You can see the smile on my face, man. I just got nothing but love for that kid. Saw him on AEW Dark. We're always in the living room, standing ovation. We saw him on Impact on Saturday. The sky is the limit for the Sky Reaper himself. So I always say he's our number one since day one. And just to put a smile on my face, man, I mean, it's all about the shameless promo for us, but just to put a smile on my face, man, he's worn my shirt to the ring like 2 or 3 times, man, and sometimes on streaming services. And that means the world to me, man.
sorry to interrupt you.
No.
But you mean like his shirt that he got? It wasn't like off your back. Like you weren't shirtless during that show, right?
No.
All right, just making sure.
He's the kind of guy that he would give you the shirt off his back. No, he's a good dude, man. I have nothing but great things to say, man. And the fact that he wore his shirt, like I turned into a little kid. I'm twice the guy's age. Like I turned into a little kid. I'm just like, no, because he doesn't tell us. He comes out for the entrance and like, no, that's our dude. That's my guy. That's my guy, and we pop big, man. But again, man, I'm trying to toe that line right now between fan and journalist, but you can see I'm popping right now. Special place in my heart for him as well, man. So I don't want to play favorites, but if we're going back to day one, he is our number one since day one, and so happy. Follow him, shameless plug, at KC Wrestles. That's our dude right there. The sky's the limit, man.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we started, I obviously, because you go by different names, and I wanted to make sure what name you wanted to go by, Rob Williams. You had a story that you wanted to tell us about. You saw that name on a flyer, and it's not what you wanted, or sort of something like that. Can you tell us that story about what happened?
Yeah, don't like it sounds like I'm a diva, right? Like I'm the new guy.
Yeah.
Like I'm totally green. Like I'm a podcaster, interviewer, and that's not a knock, man, because that's what you're doing. You told me earlier you're studying to do sports casting, and I'm very proud of that, man. I love the hustle. Like I've said a million times, I love that you started early. But yeah, man. So I got the tap on the shoulder to come in for commentary for the Goddesses of War brand, which is all female wrestling brand here in New Jersey. A shout to Billy Charles AG from Titan Championship Wrestling, who not only have been so good to me with the interviews and letting me just come to their shows, but like just good humans. Again, I know that's like the thing, man, but that's very important to me, man. True colors are what it's all about to me, man. You make an impression on me and I'll always remember it. But just good humans. And Billy one night, man, and it was before a really tough day, and it meant the world to me. And he was like, "Hey, man, like we want to bring you in as special guest commentary for Goddesses of War, man." So I was like, it's something like I never knew that I wanted to do, but I was excited about it. And, we would mute the TV and me and the boys would call matches, man. So I don't know if you've ever done that, and we're very punny, man. More kicks than a Rockettes concert. Like it's bad, dude. And, Lady Frost comes in and, she's got a hold in and she will not let it go, Elsa. And it was bad, man. It was, what's cooler than being cool? Like I'm Mr. Puns. Like I'm going to get in trouble one day. Super baby face, and I was so excited for it. As you can see, like I'm really excited talking about it. But to answer your very simple original question, they put on the flyer Rob Williams, which is my name on Facebook. Please don't stalk me, but that's not my real name. I used Williams. It's my middle name. And so sure enough, it's on the flyer. So my first reaction is like, oh, that's not my last name. And I'm about to shoot them a message, but like they already made the graphic and stuff. And I'm the newbie. Like, I don't want to be that guy. Like, no, it's actually this. No, like, I'm not like, I'm just grateful. I'm the new guy. I'm the sponge. Like, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me how I can help. Give me all the criticism. I want it, man. I want all the criticism. And then I read it. It says,
suck.
Yeah, I mean, even if I get that, man, it's like, all right, well, how can I not? Like, what can I do to make you happy? And basically, man, they hit me with Rob Williams. I look at it, and I'm like, that kind of works, man. It's very like, I don't know, commentator, right? You think like Rob Williams, boom, boom, almost like a Michael Cole, or I'm trying to think of the other, Vic Joseph. It's just like those two, almost like those two first name, last name thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the last name's the first. Like it just worked. It was natural, and I didn't fight it. And it's very vanilla. Like for me, like I'm very vanilla. And I think it worked, man. So Rob Williams, it flies, and I didn't say anything about it, and just kind of took off, and people knew me as Rob Williams, so I'm cool with that. So like Robert, that's my real name, but I'm not Rob good. So Rob Williams, Bob, man, it's another good one. But Rob Williams, it flows. It's a thing, man. It's one of those things. It's like a happy accident.
Now, just a quick shout out to one of your co-hosts, Nunes. What's
Chris Nunes? The Chris Nooner, yeah, the Nunes, good as brother.
It's boss time. Just wanted to say that.
There it is. Yes, that's for you, Nunes.
Now, what is behind you, and even on the walls? You said that's all your memorabilia. Obviously, we can see the titles. I don't know what Skype is going to show and what's not going to show, but I'm looking at Becky Lynch behind you as well.
Yeah, she's our next interview. No, I'm just kidding.
Imagine.
One day, never say never, bro.
Yeah. What is your favorite memorabilia that you have in that room with you right now?
Oh man, it's tough to choose. And first of all, shout to you, man, because you're doing these interviews. You're recording these things, and it's like you got to be observant of stuff. Like, see what your guest is wearing. Like, we were talking sports earlier. You're looking around the room. Like, tell us about this, man. I like that, man. Off the cuff, man. Good job. Keep doing that. To answer your very simple question again, man, it's tough. I don't know if you guys can see this NXT belt. I'll try to move the camera and my microphone at the same time. Sorry, very professional. I don't know. There's very beautiful Charlie, my favorite. It's signed. It's signed too, man.
I was not expecting that.
That's not my answer. I mean, I do love Charlie. That's not my answer. But I don't know if you guys can see it in the shot. It's the NXT belt, which I'm pointing to.
Yeah.
Signed. That was given to me my former father-in-law, but it's signed by Adam Cole, baby. Ciampa, and I'd love to get it signed by Gargano. He's dying. I got him cracking up over here. Complete the trifecta. And then, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm going to try to turn the camera. I think it's cut off at the bottom, but I have a Mysterio mask under that Vince Carter jersey.
Oh, yeah, I see a little bit of it.
There's a dollar bill signed by Ted DiBiase from the other night, and then the Mr. Sock. I like the unique stuff. So I'd have to go with the Mysterio mask. My friend he's still cracking up about Charlie. She's my favorite, bro. We got to meet her in 2020 at a signing, and she was super sweet. And
she's really nice, but I was just not expecting a big picture ever.
My answer was supposed to be the NXT belt, although that is one of my favorites. I'm not gonna lie, I love Charlie so much. But it would have to be the Rey Mysterio mask because my friend got it. He's done. Down in Mexico, it's a legit lucha mask from Mexico. So when I got to meet Rey Mysterio, like 2014, I think it was, at a Jersey All Pro event, I had him sign the mask, man, and that's one of my coolest things. My friend got it from me from Mexico. Mysterio signed it. That's got to be my favorite. I could go on and on, man, but I'm giving you these long-winded answers. No one wants to talk to me, man. So this is nice to be interviewed for once.
Well, you have Becky behind you. Does she want to talk to you?
No, sometimes she's sassy. Sometimes, no, I'm just kidding. I love Becky. We have been a pro Becky podcast, dude, since way before the man. Since she got called up, essentially, again, using that called up term. But I got to meet her at iPlay over here in Freehold, New Jersey years ago, and couldn't have been sweeter, man. Couldn't have been sweeter. I have nothing but good things to say about her, and congratulations to her and Seth, man. I hope to see her back one day, but we always say family first here, and just super happy for her, man.
Now, my next question. So you have Becky on one side of the room, and then you have Charlie Cruz on the other side. So what side do you go to more, Becky or Charlie?
Wow. Oh man, don't make me choose. This took a turn.
It also to translate the question, it also means who do you stare at more?
Oh man, no, I'm not a creep. I'm obviously, like, all joking aside, like, very respectful of both.
Yeah.
Ladies. Obviously, Becky's accomplishments, like we said, we've been a pro Becky show forever. But yeah, I love Becky. I mean, no secret, I love Becky. She's great, and Charlie, not only killing it in the wrestling world. Very nice human. We got to meet her. Would love to interview her one day. And again, like I said to you, man, never say never, but she kills it on First Take in the sports world, man. And I know you like to toe that line, so I appreciate that. Plus, she is an angel. I won't pick between the two, but I know Becky is spoken for. So
now, so fun fact about my show. I rarely do research. It's more on the fly. Like, I don't have any questions for you right now. It's just coming off the top of my head what I remember about you. And for you, what do you do to do research? And I know you had a notepad when you interviewed me, which, by the way, go watch that that interview when it comes out.
Shameless plug. I love it.
How much time do you spend doing research on your desk?
Dude, great. Dude, you're killing it, man. First of all, this is all off the cuff, so even more credit to you. I'm putting you over here, man. But seriously, all joking aside, like, really, really great question. I do have my famous green notebook. Shout to Billy Fetsky of TCW, who has the famous yellow notebook. I think he went all the way through that one, but I have the green notebook. As to answer your question, as far as the preparation, yes, I like to prepare, but at the same time, I like to do what you're doing, a little bit of both. Like I'm an over preparer, like definitely, especially when it comes to intros, man. Like, I was teasing you, like first ever Bob Culture, but I'm like, former U.S. champion, former tag team, Olympic gold medalist. Like I go boom, boom, boom. I feel the guests appreciate that. I'm sure, like the big time they hear it a million times. Like, all right, W Hall of Famer, but I feel like people do appreciate that, especially the indie talent who, they're all over the place in all these different promotions. And you're like, tag team champion, boom, boom, boom. So I make sure I get that right. Sometimes I'll throw a little pun in there. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll throw something funny, to give it a little personality. So if they don't know me, they can see what I'm about. They see, he's funny or he's trying to be funny. He's a nice guy. He did his homework, like right out of the gate, it's like, what's your favorite color? You want to do your homework, but at the same time, like I said earlier, like retweet these guys. I see what they're posting on Twitter, what they're talking about, like what they're watching, who they have their eye on, who are their dream opponents, what are their goals that are kind of, great cliche questions, which we always do ask because fans want to know. I want to know, but they'll put some of that stuff on Twitter, man. And, like Erica Lee, we talked a lot about candy because she does the candy reviews. It's a perfect example. So, one of my favorite interviews that we did recently, man, and I enjoyed yours as well. But she's just like her comedic timing. She was just so funny, man. We were talking about Reese's Pieces and how to say it correctly, and it turned into this whole like bit kind of thing. And I use it on the best of. It makes me laugh every single time. But I don't even remember what the original question was. I'm so far gone. But yes, being prepared. I love what you're doing off the cuff, and I'm going to over prepare. But I've learned in the world of wrestling, and I'll tell you this now, so you don't have to be like me, a lot of it, because now that I'm behind the curtain a little bit more here and there, a lot of it is, and it doesn't surprise, like I had a first time a couple days ago, and I wasn't surprised because I knew it was going to happen. I'm all about the script. I'm all about the notes, being prepared, doing what you're doing, listening to the interview and asking the next question based on the answer. But a lot of times, and I'll shout my guy, Vinny Cenzo, we worked with him in a segment for that Val's Pals show on my birthday that I mentioned. We hosted the pre-show, and there was an award segment. If you know wrestling, a lot of times those award segments end a certain way. I'll leave it at that. So there was this whole thing, and we wanted to be respectful to the business. We want to be respectful to the talent. And I remember going up to Vinny and saying all those things. We want to be respectful. Like, what should we do? Like, what should we say? All this stuff. And he goes to us, and I still tease him to this day, but I'm appreciative for it. He goes, let's just go out there and have fun. And everything I have done for the most part is like, yeah, let's just, let's go out there and have fun. Let's just go do it, man. Like this is supposed to happen. Let's do it. And that's not my way. I prefer it not be that way, but everything is like that, man. Every time I'm behind the curtain, it's like that. And that's not like a knock. I'm still very green. I don't know if everything really is like that, but everything in my experience has been like, this is what you're doing. Go out there and make it work, which I'm sure you've heard superstars say even on a national level. So it's not a knock by any means. To me, it keeps me on my toes, and that's not my favorite thing, but I'm rolling with it. I want to learn from it. And that's, I think, what's the expression, that the pressure, right?
Yeah.
Pressure, makes the diamond on the coal. So I butchered that, but you get what I'm saying, man. It's really interesting. So a little free advice for you, my man. Just go out there and have fun.
Thank you. And I always try to. That's my main goal of these interviews. Yeah. It's not like, oh, I want to ask you this question. Please answer it A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like, that's not how I am.
Yeah.
We'll go from a topic of, oh, so what got you into wrestling? Oh, you mentioned that you had a dog. Like, what type of dog did you have? Or, like, or, like, oh, I'll see a lot of your videos working out and your dog's next to you. Do you ever use your dog as a weight accessory or something? Like, nice. That's what, and we go off the rails, and that's what I want to happen. If it's a big interview, like with someone like Leo Rush, who I'm not sure if you saw that interview. I was very grateful to have him on my show because someone donated a very, I mean, if you know Leo Rush, you know how much he charges, but someone paid for it for me. And they were very generous of doing that. I never asked for it, and they just wanted me to succeed. So
that's amazing to hear, man. I love the support.
Yeah. It's all about being respectful, like you said. So has there ever been a time on your show where you completely blanked out? Like you're already like, oh, I'm going to ask her this question next, or him or her this question. And then all of a sudden it's time for you to speak. And then you just forgot it, because it's happened to me a few times, more than a few times.
You know what? It's funny. Like, there's never been a time where I completely like blanked and dropped the ball, but there'll be something like, you know, like even when I was talking to you, I'll write little notes. Like, as you can see, I'm like firing on all cylinders here, man. Wait, what was the question? I blanked. No, I'm just kidding. Messing with
No,
you.
but that's a good example.
Exactly. But it's exactly like, it's like those quick little things where you're like, all right, it's interesting because like I love being the interviewee. Not necessarily more, but it's more comfortable because as the host, as you're doing right now, it's a lot of steering, man. It's a lot of driving. It's a lot of, you know, I don't want to offend you. It's a lot of, you know, how can I segue? It's a lot of, you know, how can I wrap this up? You know, there's a lot of that. And I'm, again, no disrespect, but you're driving, man, as you saw, you know, me doing on several interviews, but I love it. I haven't like blanked completely. I always have like those back pocket questions, and that's like good advice. You know, I mean, I don't want to give away like all my tricks here, but I always have like I always have a couple in the chamber. I have like ones that I do ask over and over, but you know, you got to think people watching, like, you know, they don't want to see the same questions, but they do want to know like dream opponents or how you got your start or something. But like the talent, they're newbies for the first time. I don't think a lot of the talent watches all of our stuff. I mean, some of them maybe, but it's you know, it's the first time. You know, it's the first time for me. It's new to me, and I think I see certain things that they pop for. So I have a couple cool questions like in my back pocket always. And it doesn't hurt having the co-host. Like shout out to my guys. They're the best. I'm so proud of them.
Always, it's boss time.
There he is. I'm making him watch this like 3 times. But they always conduct themselves professionally and with decorum. And I'm so proud. I'm just so proud of my team and my guys. And we're good. You know what? Because we keep it conversational. We keep it real. We keep it respectful. And I think that's why people come back. I think that's we've had a good reputation for ourselves, man. And the reason I say all that is so you can continue on that path. Like I've said a million times already between the time I talked to you earlier and just now. Like I wish I had started earlier. I really, really do, man. And I want you to do everything the right way. I want you to succeed, man. If I can give you any advice or help, like always reach out. I'm always happy to do that. And if you do blank, man, I would just say have those back pocket questions. Like always have, you know, something, you know, in your back pocket ready to go for sure. And always have like a couple good ones that like people will pop for, like more outside the box stuff. And again, good job to you, man. The pets, everyone loves talking about the pets. You bring up the dogs, done deal, man. People love talking about their pets.
Mm-hmm. Now it might be the final question. It may not. We'll see where we go. Mm-hmm. But, I want to know, where did this contribute to Pro Wrestling World come from?
Oh, great question, man. Look at you paying attention. Big shout. You know what? You asked earlier who our like number one guest is or our favorite is. And I'd be remiss if I didn't, like, none of this happens. None of this happens without, I don't know if you guys can see the sticker. It's kind of far away. It says, I'm a Chad Minez guy. None of this happens without Chad, owner, founder, CEO of Standalone Wrestling, Pro Wrestling After Dark. He always has big things coming up. He did that Val's Pals charity show that we talked about. He has believed in me since day one. You mentioned people believing in you, you know, and I'm glad to see that you have that, man. And keep networking, you know, surround yourself with good people you can trust, and people that have faith in you, that when you succeed, they don't try to knock you down. They try to build you up. They want to see you succeed, man. And that's another, you know, lesson of free advice. And Chad's been that for me, man. He is always like, even if I'm doing something that's not directly involved with him, he's just proud of me, man. And you know, when I was going through stuff, he checked in on me. And it was one of those things, like, he didn't really know I was going through stuff, but like he knew, you know what I mean? Like, you know, hey man, like everything good? Like, where you been? And that means the world to me. He's given me a lot of focus in the tough times. He's given me a lot of goals and things to accomplish. So to answer your question, Chad was the one who gave me the contribution to Pro Wrestling 2020 award. I guess, you know, for having all these guys and gals on throughout 2020, we kept the content going. Like you said, you know, quarantine. This was a podcast. There was no video. But, you know, I got the video going, and we just have such a good rapport with these wrestlers and announcers and referees, like you were saying, and it's given me opportunity. They've gone to bat for me. They've bought my merch. They've worn my merch to the ring, and it's a connection, man. It's really good. I'm thankful to have it, man. I lost a lot in 2020, but I gained so much, man, and I owe it to wrestling. And I just want to give it right back, man. And I think people saw that. He gave me an award, man, and I know he's like, oh, it's like the Miz with the the Money in the Bank briefcase. That should be my like shtick, right? Like I should bring that anywhere. Oh, the 2020, wrestling, kind of thing, like the Miz or something like that. But I'm very grateful for it, man. You can see I moved the U.S. title down. Like I had to display that in the shot as best I could. I'm very grateful for it. I'm very grateful for Chad. I say this a million times. He's a pillar of the BCP. None of this happens without him, man. And I'm grateful for the support. And yeah, man, I'm happy to receive that award, and I want to represent it the right way.
Now, I have a problem with Chad if you don't answer this question correctly. Was there anyone else on the ballot to win that award behind you?
Okay, so two things. First of all, that's a fair question, right? It's like, but it all joking aside, it wasn't, I don't think, I mean, maybe there was a ballot, maybe people voted. As far as I know, he kind of, it was like, you see this a lot in wrestling. Like I use the term tap on the shoulder a lot. Like it's like even the other day I got one, and it's such like a promoter way to do it. It's not like, hey man, like you were great and like did you ever do it? It's just like, hey Donovan, put this date on your calendar, you're back in. It's just like such like a casual like promoter thing. But Chad's always been very heartfelt and always very direct, man. And he reached out to me and wanted me to be heavily involved in that show. The award segment, obviously, I mentioned was a big part of that. But it was all hard, man. It was all real. You know what I mean? It wasn't like one of those things where it was like, is it going to be this guy or this guy or this guy? It was just like, how I keep saying to you, man, I keep saying like, I love your hustle. I love your hustle. I think he sees that in me. Like the whole commentary thing, like I'm so excited to do it. And I think he saw that in me before I saw it. And
we're going to need a count like Michael Cole with Boss Time.
Yeah.
Again, we're going to need a count for, I love your hustle. I love your hustle.
Dude, I mean, that's why we're connecting right now. I really, really do, man. And yeah, dude, I think Chad has just seen that in me. And I think it was a very genuine, yes, it was part of, a bit, in the business, but it's more than that. I was very, very proud to receive it. I did not see it until I received it. And the mutual respect, the mutual partnership, the mutual family and friendship that we have is very genuine and very real. And that meant the world to me, man. And in a way, it kind of picked me up from some tough times. So it wasn't like a vote thing. Maybe next year, or maybe I get a pick. I don't know how it works. Maybe you one day, bro. Who knows?
Yeah. So before we end these interviews, we actually did go over 30 minutes, which I'm very glad about. I like to flip the script. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh man. Well, can I plug the interview here?
Yeah.
That's the question. Can I plug the interview? No. So, first of all, Donovan, thank you, man. This is cool. Thank you for letting me like tell my story, man. Like I mentioned earlier, it's cool to be the interviewee instead of the interviewer sometimes, instead of doing all the driving. So I appreciate you doing that, man. But yes, we did have Donovan on the BCP. We'll be airing that pretty soon. I don't know when this is going to air, but it'll
tonight.
It's going to air tonight, dude. I'm honored, man. I'll share it all over the place. I'm excited. So this will probably air, what's today? It's the 13th for those watching right now. So we'll say probably in a couple days, maybe after SmackDown on Friday, maybe we'll see what happens, man. We'll get you the shameless promo. But we had a great discussion with Donovan. I may have said something like, I don't know, I like your hustle, or I wish I started earlier. But I had a lot of great questions. I mean, I thought they're good. Yeah, at least.
5-time champ like Booker.
There it is. I like this guy, man. And you know what, bro? All joking aside, we'll have to have you back on. We always do the predictions panels. I know you said you weren't watching WWE as much, but we'll get you on for maybe an AEW one or something like that. We always have a lot of fun, man. And you're doing a great job. And you, sir, not a question here, but you keep killing it, man. And like I said a million times, there's a counter for that. If you ever need anything from us BCP boys, please don't bother us. We're very, very, no, I'm just kidding. Very and let us know, man. And you keep killing it. Keep promoting the indies, especially. We're all about that. Stay professional, stay polite, stay classy, stay respectful. And yeah, man, just continued success to you.
Thank you. Anything that you'd like to promote? YouTube.
Oh boy, don't get that was dangerous. How much more time you got? Real quick,
You
obviously.
get to choose one thing.
I choose what? No. Oh boy, I like this guy. The Bob Culture Podcast, obviously on iTunes. It's not even iTunes anymore. It's Apple Podcasts. We're on YouTube with the video. We are on Podbean, Spotify, Stitcher, all that great stuff. We stream on Facebook Live and Twitch, usually after, AEW, SmackDown, Raw, a lot of great indie talent. Here come the name drops. I warned you, man. I'm all about the name drops. We've had the likes of Jim Ross, Ernie Hudson, one of the Ghostbusters, Jake the Snake Roberts, Tommy Dreamer, Velvet Sky, Summer Rae, just a bunch of great indie talent, a lot of pop culture people as well. We are a pop culture show as well. Very heavy influence on the wrestling. I'm also the senior editor at thepopbreak.com. We do a lot of great coverage of the indie shows, a lot of reviews. We have interviews. I've gotten to interview the likes of, you can see the autograph there on the U.S. title, Mr. Kurt Angle. Gave me a few minutes of his time. That was great. Dana Brooke, now known as Miro. Also, Rusev we have had on last year. So, again, never say never, man. Lots of opportunity. I'm very grateful for it. That's thepopbreak.com. You can follow me at Bob Culture Pod on Twitter, at the Bob Culture Podcast on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. And I guess that's enough shameless promo for now. We got t-shirts, tpublic.com. Check out the Bob Culture Podcast. Get that shameless merch. Get that shameless promo. And Donovan, man, keep doing what you're doing, man. This is a lot of fun. Thank you, brother.
Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow him on all his social medias. What he just plugged. I can't remember one thing. And I'll see you guys in the next interview. Peace out.
We're out. See ya.